Welcome back to the channel. My name is Stephen Nguyen. I'm a pharmacist and I own 52 units of real estate. So I had an interesting hypothetical question thrown at me is if I were to unload my $6 million net worth, and keep in mind I have a video breaking down my net worth, so if you haven't seen it, check that one out. But if you watched it already, you know that my net worth is 6 million. 1 million is roughly in like index funds and 5 million is real estate. So predominantly my net worth is in real estate. But someone posed me the question, what if I were to sell all my real estate, dump it all into index funds, which is way more passive, and then basically live off, about 4% or, 7 or 8% of the returns and live off that for the rest of my life, right? So, and I was thinking about that and I want to run through the hypothetical situation to see what it looks like. So if I were to sell $5 million worth of real estate, assuming a 20% capital gains tax, I'd probably have $4 million left over. And if you factor in that 4 million with the current million I have, that's $5 million that's dumped into index funds. So the S&P 500 averages around 7 to 10% a year. So if I were to be, just for sake of easy math, let's just say it's 10% a year. If I were to live off 10% of half of $5 million, that's $500,000 a year. Divide that by 12, that's roughly about $41,000 a year in income that I could live off of, right? But if you listen to a lot of financial YouTubers, they recommend the 4% rule, which is a lot more conservative. And by using the 4% rule, it factors into the cost of living going up. It factors in inflation. It factors in for the ups and downs of the market. And basically, you can invest that without touching your principal payment. So if I had $5 million, I think 4% of that is roughly $200,000 a year, which is pretty much pharmacist salary already, right? And this is assuming I don't want to touch my principal. So if I live off $200,000 a year, which is pretty nice, right? That's basically pharmacist salary. I could basically not work a single day in my life and retire. So, for me, I would feel a bit uneasy if I did this because I never really seen someone live off this way. I'm used to getting income coming in consistently. Um, it might be a limiting belief that I have, right? And if you hit financial freedom using this method, please let me know. I want to know what it's really like, right? Like conceptually, I get it, right? I live off 4%. That's $200,000 a year without touching my principal. If I want to live a little bit more lavishly, and let's say you live off like 6, 7, 8% of that, or even 10%, that's $500,000 a year that you live off of. And basically, you live off that. And if the market goes up and down, you should be okay. Like for me, that sounds a little bit stressful. But I guess if let's just say I had not much expense and my main expense is my rent, my mortgage, right? So realistically for me, I'd have $5 million left over. And let's just say I took $1 million to pay off my current house that I'm living in, right? So I have $4 million left over. And if I'm living off like, what is that, 4% of that, now it's about, what's that, 160K? So let's just make it 8%. So I'm 320K. And that's basically two pharmacists' salary, assuming each pharmacist is making about 160K, which is about average. So basically, replacing two pharmacists' income, assuming the 8% rule, on my $4 million nest egg in a free and clear house that I'm living in, right? So basically, my major expense, which is my mortgage, is gone. Despite that, with HOA, utilities, property tax, insurance, it's still about $2,000 a month. But if I'm taking home or grossing 32K, 320K a month, and let's just say after taxes, assuming let's just say a 30% tax rate. So what's that? I'm left for around maybe minus 13K off that, or 12K. So I have 24K net. Divide that by 12. That's 20K a month net, right? That I'm living with after taxes. I have 20K net. 2,000 goes to my living expense, or just my house, right? That's gone. And then you have your own living expense. So let's say you got kids, family to take care of, things you want to do. You roughly have around 10K to do that, right? And I think that's a pretty decent lifestyle. I'm not sure if I have the balls or the cojones to do that, to be honest. And it might just be my scarcity mentality because I read the book Dive Zero, right? And I know that I don't want to work too much. I want to enjoy life. That's the whole point of it. I am gonna leave off, like, I'm gonna inherit stuff from my parents, and when they pass and when I pass, my kids are gonna inherit stuff. My grandchildren will probably inherit stuff. So to me, like, they're gonna have more than what I have, and I have more than my parents have, and my parents had more than my grandparents have, right? So, like, after a certain point, your lifestyle doesn't improve. So that's why I said, like, for me, I'm all hustle right now, but eventually I'm gonna hit a point, and I'm close to it, to be honest. Like, if I didn't have a mortgage, if my life insurance policies were paid off, if I had, like, $200,000 sitting in the bank, and I'd feel pretty comfortable. But for me, I want some sort of, like, income coming in, right? So it doesn't have to be W-2. It could be like I'm a real estate agent. It could be I'm a real estate mentor and coach, right? If that goes well. But I just wanted to have more time and location freedom where I want to work when I want to work. And, versus W-2 9 to 5, I have to show up Monday through Friday from like 8 to 4:30, right? That's a typical schedule, and you have to deal with the commute and deal with office politics and all this stuff, right? For me, I like to work, but I'd rather do work on my own terms. Like, maybe I'll do like 3 coaching calls and then relax, or do no coaching calls, go on a spontaneous trip. That's my whole objective, right? And as you can tell, I live very humbly, which helped me build up my net worth. But because I live humbly, I don't need a lot of material goods. I actually don't like much stuff, right? Like, I'm just moving into my new house here, and we're slowly filling it up. But, like, honestly, we hit the point where, like, what, we have everything we need, like, and more than what we need, right? To be honest. So, like, we're not going to buy anything anymore, right? I have enough clothes, kitchen stuff, everything I have enough of, right? So I'm good on that aspect. So I don't know. I guess now that I've been talking this video, I'm kind of self-convincing myself to maybe it's an option, right? But I know right now, it just makes sense to keep on building this financial foundation. While I'm still young, but once I have kids, or I'm older and have a family, I think I want to pivot more towards focusing on the family, where I could, go to my kids' vacations, or field trips. I remember my parents couldn't go because they're working full time. Be involved if they want to do sports. Like, I used to play varsity tennis, and my parents couldn't go because they worked, right? And be able to be present, and to really watch them grow up, right? Because you spend most of your time with your kids before they're 18. Once they leave for college, you don't see them as much, right? Unless you're Asian, right? And you live at home until you're like 28, like me, right? Subtle jab at myself. In any case, yeah, like, it is doable, but I feel like it would be less stressful. But I feel like I'd get bored, to be honest, and I'd have to do something else. And but it is an option, right? That's what I love about real estate. Like, I'm motivated to work now, but maybe circumstances change, and I just don't want to do real estate anymore either. I'll sell it all, pay off my primary residence that I live in, have $4 million that I'm investing, and I can live off my 320K, so 8% rule off of that, and slowly chip down my nest egg. And then while doing that, I could build up my social media. I could become a real estate broker, continue my coaching, right? I love doing this stuff organically, naturally. I could travel, so definitely. Oh my God, I'm kind of selling myself now. So actually, it does sound enticing. But I feel like I have a lot more to develop. I have a lot more to learn, and I feel like my W-2 job is pushing me in that way, which is nice, to develop as a person, to develop as a leader, and to really reframe my mindset, right? So I'm the type where I don't need to be like a billionaire. I don't need to be super millions. I'm just more lifestyle oriented, and just be able to do things with my fiance, future wife, my kids, and really just have options to do what I want, right? I think that's all I really care for. As I said in multiple videos, after you make a certain money, you have a certain net worth, you make a certain income, your quality doesn't necessarily improve, and you just keep on chasing more and more, and that's fine, right? Like, some people, it's fine to chase money if that's what you really like and really brings you true fulfillment. But for me, I know that I don't like the thought of running a $1 billion business. Doesn't sound enticing. For me, I just really want to, learn, to share what I learned, and to help others do it, right? That's very natural for me. And I do it for free, right? So, but people didn't appreciate it. So now I do it on social media, right? So let me know what you would do in my situation if you had a $6 million net worth, and you had 5 million in stock in real estate. Would you sell it and then dump out index funds and live off that 4% rule? Or would you continue to keep on grinding, work W-2, build businesses, scale up and build even more wealth, right? So like, is it better to build a bigger foundation so I can live a more lavish lifestyle when I retire? Or should I retire earlier and then continue to live humbly and, enjoy my early 30s, almost mid 30s now. Geez, time flies. But enjoy my early 30s, right? So let me know in the comments. If you found value in the video, please like, comment, subscribe, share this video with somebody. If you're interested in doing the multifamily mentorship, check out my link down below. You can reach out to me if you're interested in a discount code. And I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.